Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello everybody, welcome to our Friday Product Owner and TGIF episode, this week with Aria Omidvar. Hey Aria, welcome back.
Thank you. Hi Vasco and happy Friday.
Absolutely. Happy Friday, everybody, TGIF. Aria, we're going to talk product owners and we're even going to share what a great product owner looks like in a minute. But first, share with us the worst product owner anti-pattern you've witnessed in your career.
I think the worst and the most prevalent anti-pattern I've seen is product owners putting either too many initiatives for one team or putting too many people in one project to hoping that they're going to finish it faster. And what is happening here really is the product owner has turned into a project manager, which is not a crime or a sin in itself. However, it's impossible for a product owner to be also a project manager, because the product owner at best can be an expert of the what and not the how. But as a project manager, you need to be also to have a hand at least in the how, and to know the nitty-gritty details of software development and delivery and those stuff. And lo and behold, one of the biggest names in the product world that I absolutely have learned a ton from, Marty Cagan, also addresses this as the most common anti-pattern of product owners or product managers.
So as Scrum Masters, if we start seeing kind of this pattern or anti-pattern developing, in your experience, what can we do in order to help the team and, of course, also the product owner?
I myself have had mixed results with this. I have not succeeded all the time. Sometimes there is too much incentive for a product owner to just become, I'm sorry to say this, but to become an agile bureaucrat and to dictate what the upper management wants to be done. And sometimes they think if they put 9 mothers in the same room, they can deliver a baby in 1 month. Doesn't work like that.
By the way, that's from Fred Brooks, the Mythical Man Month.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know. I had heard this from Jim Coplin. Nice. Yeah. So that's definitely a fallacy, and like it comes from different places. But I have also had success that I don't know. This product owner was open. He had more open mind about it, and he accepted. In the end, he was like, I was like, we cannot change priorities like this. You cannot come every week with these new stuff. It doesn't work like that. What you call stakeholder management or expectation management is not this. Software has its own ways, and when a team decides for an iteration, that's what they need to focus on. Of course, they can do some, reactive work, but still they need to stick, and I mean, in Scrum, we call it focus, on what they want to deliver. And I have had mixed results with this. So sometimes
it's actually a very important point. Like, we don't always succeed with helping product owners to transform their way of interacting with the team and the stakeholders and of course with themselves in the work that they have to do. But it is important to take action, to have those conversations, to bring up the topics. And if we notice that the PO is closed to that, then of course we need to step back, because you can't push anyone to do anything if they don't already want to. But of course we can influence why they would want to. So we can talk to the team, we can talk to the stakeholders, and we can show the results, right? Like collecting data and talking about results and having a discussion with the PO about the results. I think those can all be potential door openers to kind of bring that awareness that, hey, we need to move on forward, right? Like the way we're working is not really helping us very much.
Exactly. I mean, you did mention that we cannot help people who don't want to be helped or are not open. Because we mentioned the 9 mothers, I want to also say this one. I think I heard it from Joachim Zunden. I don't know how his name is pronounced. He was one of the agile coaches in Spotify. He said that it's a very lame joke, but it's so true. It says, how many agile coaches does it take to change a light bulb? And the answer is yes, but it takes only one, but the light bulb should really want to change. And I mean, as much as it's a lame joke, it's so true. It hits home so well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sometimes people are open, sometimes not so much.
And those that are open eventually become great product owners, of course. And that's what we want to talk about next, Aria. So share with us the best product owner you've ever worked with. How did they work?
I'm gonna also mention his name because he was a very influential figure in my professional life, if that's okay. So yeah, Jonas Müller. I guess for an American they would say Jonas Müller, but yeah, I also tried my best German pronunciation for this. Was the first. He was also the first product owner I met, and he was also the product owner of that great team that I got into Scrum. And what I mean, I if I think how he did stuff, I can come up with some, I don't know, kind of high level patterns of behavior I can mention. He was constantly learning. This guy was a machine. He was a fast reader. I think he was reading a book every week. And he would attend workshops, trainings, seminars, summits all the time. He was big on professional development, and this company that we worked in had a good, fair professional development budget. I cannot say how much I value this professional development budget. And him and I were the only individuals who were actually using all of our professional development budget, I think. And he basically made me also a junkie in that sense. And I got into reading and watching stuff and learning and doing workshops and trainings. Another thing about him was that he was always present in the team and for the team. I know that this is one of the opposite of this is one of the biggest anti-patterns, the absent product owner. You couldn't know he was a product owner. He looked like a teammate. And the other thing was he was extremely team minded or team oriented and people first minded. He immensely believed in teams and the collective intelligence, let's say. He would never pick one or two people from the team. Okay, we're going to go into the room and we're going to do these things, and then the rest of the team is going to, I think you do, I do intelligence, you do operation, none of that. So he absolutely believed in collective intelligence. Another thing, he was not scared of discussions, disagreements, and even confrontations, which is a very rare quality these days. Somehow we have settled on nice attitude, and nice is often full of you know what. And he was absolutely real about this. He was like, hey, we're here to do good work, and if that means sometimes engaging in some heated discussions, then be it. We come out, we go out, have a beer together, and we are going to still be friends and good colleagues. And if I want to put his probably highest value at last, I would say he was a compassion first and work next kind of person, which again is not something you can see being embodied in many people. And I loved it about him.
Absolutely. And that's quite a list of characteristics that we can use to also think about, how is my product owner behaving? You know, if I take Aria's list, how many of these qualities does the product owner exhibit? That's a great list. Thank you for sharing that, Aria. We're almost close to the end, but before we go, if people want to find out more about you and the work that you're doing, where should they go?
I think LinkedIn is my most Public virtual presence, really. I'm also on Twitter, but I'm not that active. I mean, if someone wants to reach out to me on Twitter, it's possible. And these two are really my only public presences. LinkedIn should be just fine. And
absolutely. And we'll put the link on the show notes so that people can easily reach out and talk with Aria and maybe ask a few follow-up questions. I'm sure he has a lot of great stories to share, more than that he has shared here. Aria, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your time and your generosity with your knowledge.
Trust me, I'm here to thank you. I had no idea how you reached out to me, but I grabbed the opportunity with both hands. And you did make me go and face some of my yesterday demons and go through some of those hard emotions and stuff. Reassess things. I don't know, use my compass again and find my North Star again. Absolutely. Thank you for providing this. This podcast is quite addictive. Anyone who's not listening to this should. If you're a product owner, if you're a scrum master, if you're, I don't know, engineering manager, if you're in any way engaged with agile teams or scrum teams, this podcast has so much insight and practical insight. I'm a customer.
Absolutely. I'm happy to hear that, Aria. That's why we do it.
Thank you.
One more week of the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast is over, but there's a lot more we have to share. We have developed our own membership site where you find a community of active and engaged Scrum Masters. In this site, you get access to exclusive content and get to interact with us, your podcast hosts, as well as the best Scrum Masters in the world. So join us at scrummasterpodcast.com and keep this podcast free of advertising. See you next week for one more full week of Scrum Master tips and tricks. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.